On September 9th, before the former president would speak the claim to an audience of over 60 million people, J.D. Vance tweeted, "Months ago, I raised the issue of Haitian illegal immigrants draining social services and generally causing chaos all over Springfield, Ohio. Reports now show that people have had their pets abducted and eaten by people who shouldn't even be in our country. Where is our border czar?" People rightfully inquire to know more about these reports, since they were so extreme. The fact-checking organization NewsGuard did an investigation and managed to track down the source, one Erica Lee, who posted to the Springfield, Ohio Crime and Information Facebook group. "Warning to all about our beloved pets and those around us. My neighbor informed me that her daughter's friend had lost her cat. She checked pages, kennels, asked around. One day she came home from work and as soon as she stepped out of her car, looked toward the neighbor's house where Haitians live and saw her cat hanging from a branch like you'd do for a deer for butchering, and they were carving it up to eat. I've been told that they are doing this to dogs. They have been doing it at Snyder Park with ducks and geese, as I was told the last bit by rangers and police. Please keep a close eye on these animals." NewsGuard questioned her about the post, and she directed them to the neighbor mentioned in the post. Lee, herself, had only lived in Springfield, Ohio for the last 4 years. Upon talking to the neighbor, Kimberly Newton, she told NewsGuard, "I'm not sure I'm the most credible source because I don't actually know the person who lost the cat." She commented on the neighbor's post saying, "The cat owner was an acquaintance of a friend." So the source is ultimately rooted down to an anonymous source of an unnamed friend of a neighbor of a person who made a post about it, going totally off of hearsay. Not a game of telephone I would personally bet on, but this is just building the initial information so that we see where this turns, and this will not be the last time that we're directed towards a empty rabbit hole. Prior to J.D. Vance picking this up, it went viral with large platforms on Twitter getting boosted all around the site, and even by other politicians such as Ted Cruz. It seemed to start with a post from someone called Buckeye Girl, reposting the post from Facebook and trying to get Fox News' attention with an @ "Remember when my hometown was all over the news for the Haitians? I said all the ducks were disappearing from our parks. Well, now it's your pets." This post was later deleted as the story blew up. Before we go back in time just a little bit more, I'd like to state again that if you're going to make a claim, generally speaking, you want to have investigated, supplied proof, verified it before spreading it, rather than the other way around. So the fact it couldn't be linked to anything verifiable for something on the surface that comes across as so blatantly racist feels almost negligent on Vance's part. September 7th, End Wokeness's post about migrants gained 53K likes and 2.5 million impressions. On September 8th, he reposted a City Hall meeting where he elevated non-credible claim about Haitian grabbing ducks, cutting off their heads and eating them. This got 113,000 likes and 9.4 million views. Also, on September 8th, Jack tweeted, "Import the third world, become the third world," on an unsourced video of a man holding a duck in Queens, New York, leaning into the idea of it being some sort of national trend. This got 28K likes and 3.8 million impressions. Also on September 8th, End Wokeness pushes that an 11-year-old boy was killed by a Haitian migrant, intentionally keeping it vague as the death was actually just from a car accident, not a willful or malicious attempt to end life as it implies. Car accidents just happen. And the race aspect of this is more obvious as you look at the statistics changing basically not at all from 2020 to 2024. Still, 81K likes, 9.5 million views. The father, Nathan Clark, would eventually make a public statement asking people to stop using his son's death to stoke racist fears. Also, September 8th, End Wokeness reiterated the conspiracy with a joke, gaining another 65K likes, lastly ending the night with an AI picture of Trump holding a cat and a duck. On September 9th, he tweeted, "If not for X, Twitter, you would have no idea that Haitians were eating people's cats in Springfield." It was also on September 9th that End Wokeness retweeted a positive response to their own post to the boy who had passed in a car accident. Benny Johnson, as recently indicted by a finding of the Department of Justice, was paid, alongside with 5 others, a total of roughly $10 million to push Russian disinformation to sway the election. Before the debate, End Wokeness posted a list of suggested debate rebuttals of the upcoming debate between Trump and Kamala, to which Elon Musk promoted, saying, "Great rebuttals. the posts continued coming out, implying the fact that everyone saying the Haitian rumors were untrue and that there was no evidence, that they're in the early stages, and that eventually this will lead to the Democrats saying it's good actually that they're eating pets once the information finally comes out. Then, September 10th, prior to the debate, Trump posts 2 AI pictures involving cats implying knowledge of the event, although not saying anything specific. And I guess he just decided to say it on TV without verifying anything first. Or maybe just trusting Vance was telling the truth? That's the most charitable I could think of. On September 10th, Vance stated, "In the last several weeks, my office has received many inquiries from actual residents of Springfield who've said that their neighbors' pets or local wildlife were abducted by Haitian migrants. It's possible, of course, that all of these rumors will turn out to be false. Did you know what's confirmed? That a child was murdered by a Haitian migrant who had no right to be there. That local health services have been overwhelmed, that communicable diseases like tuberculosis and HIV have been on the rise, that local schools have struggled to keep up with newcomers who don't know English, that rents have risen faster, that many Springfield families can't even afford to have a roof over their head." As of nearly a week ago, this was seen by nearly 16 million people. So this is referring to the child from the Jack Posobiec tweet that we already covered, who died from a legal migrant in a car accident. He also claims to have received calls about such, but he doesn't give any further details about such calls, and no police or city operatives have been passed on this information from Vance so that they could do anything about it, assuming it was true. His claim of TB and HIV being on the rise is also demonstrably false, as Clark County health records actually show a sharp decline. In regards to TB, it's curious why he even mentioned it, as in 2021 there were only 3 cases, in 2022 there were only 2 cases, and the dangerous rise of 2023 is 3 cases. Again, the same as 2021. If we are to believe that migrants started coming in 2020 as they said, and the statistical change of the residents' population is nearly 25%, and yet we are seeing almost identical numbers for each year, and those numbers being almost non-existent, there's virtually no link to Haitian migrants, as Vance implied, and also isn't even like an issue in a general sense, it seems. Also, as shown in my video going over the economics of the Trump economy, housing costs raised 27.5% under Trump. And for other reasons I go into in my economics video, it seems totally laughable for him to push this idea onto the opposition. It should also be noted that Springfield, Ohio police and city leadership have denied any credible reports being made to their offices. With a quote from Forbes, "In response to recent rumors alleging criminal activity by the migrant population in our city, we wish to clarify no credible reports or specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community. Additionally, there have been no verified instances of immigrants engaged in illegal activities such as squatting or littering in front of residents' homes. Furthermore, no reports have been made regarding members of the immigrant community deliberately disrupting traffic." So, following the lack of any real evidence, many further rumors and conspiracies started to spread on Twitter. One, Ian Miles Chung, another professional political operative, posted a video of body cam of an American woman in Canton, Ohio, 175 miles from Springfield, allegedly suffering from a mental break, actually eating a cat, to which police were called. The closest thing we've gotten to fitting any of these sort of things. Except this was not in Springfield. She wasn't an immigrant, but Chung spread it as always, and Wynn replied, "Drugs?" Ian replied, "Worse. Haitians," with Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA replying, "Lots of reports of Haitians eating people's pets." Another false claim that spread like wildfire was a picture of a man holding 2 geese. But here's the truth of that claim. 1. As confirmed by the Ohio Division of Wildlife, he was merely picking up the 2 geese who had been hit by a car and left in the road, and was removing them. 2. This was in Columbus, Ohio. Again, 45 minutes from Springfield. So, again, wrong city. 3, he's just black. There's no reason to assume he's Haitian. But again, all we have are assumptions here. It's not like there's just a couple assumptions here and there. We have assumptions built on top of assumptions, built on top of assumptions, built on top of assumptions. Like, there's not a single leg of truth that any of this stands on. It's one of the most transparently false stories to ever swarm to this level of popular belief in my noticed lifetime. September 13th, Vance repeated claims about soaring disease spreading and increased crime, which are not just wrong, but so insignificant as to be manipulative when plotted on by a percent graph. Also, referring back to my economics video I made on the Trump era, crime is not soaring. The trends are pretty clear. On September 14th, Vance wrote, "Kamala Harris and her media apparatchiks should be ashamed of themselves. Another debunked story that turned out to have merit." This was stated as a quote retweet to a video posted by one Christopher Rufo, which was almost immediately community noted for false information. Rufo posted an anonymous video of chickens on a grill claiming to be African migrants in Dayton, Ohio, eating cats. Rufo is similar to Sobek, although less controversial, and is known for spreading false information. His website, where he claimed to have broken the news, was supposedly claimed by a person who chose to remain anonymous, and a claim from Rufo that he privately confirmed the location and date. So it's just a trust me bro on an anonymous blurry video of chickens on a grill that isn't even in Springfield, Ohio, and has nothing to do with Haitian people. Yes, JD, what did you say? Should be ashamed? I agree. JD is the fresh junior senator of Ohio, who was just recently elected in 2023, but when it comes to claims about issues with housing and medical systems in his home state, he's more positioned than most anyone else to help everyone. But rather than improve services for citizens, his result is to remove legal migrants, and more so, his rhetoric has a more substantial impact. Following the debate, more than 30 bomb threats were made against the school, government buildings, and city officials' homes, forcing closures for much of the week that followed, and people having to stay home from threats of violence. Springfield also canceled its annual celebration of diversity, arts, and culture in response to the threats, and on Tuesday, police were deployed to the elementary schools for protection. So, white and black, immigrant or not, the whole city's lives were now at risk because of this insistence to double down on a false narrative, to make this small town of Springfield, Ohio, the main character of American politics. J.D. Vance threw his own constituents under the bus, threw out their safety and concern for political gain. It's pretty hard to twist this any other way. In one of the most obvious and extreme examples from such recent memory, when asked if he would denounce the bomb threats sent in Ohio, Trump responded, "I don't know what happened with the bomb threats. I do know that it's been taken over by illegal migrants and that that's a terrible thing that's happened. Springfield was a beautiful town, and now they're going through hell. It's a sad thing. Not going to happen with me." I should reiterate again, these are legal migrants, despite repeat claims from Vance and Trump. The migrants of Springfield have jobs, pay taxes, and are living there with full knowledge and commitment to the laws of the process. He also brushed off and did not condemn the threats. September 17th, Vance posted a video claiming that bomb threats were all hoaxes called in by foreign agents to smear Trump and himself. This is incorrect, as many of such calls were not, in fact, international at all whenever they tracked them, and did not begin taking place until Trump spread the lie on the debate stage. And claiming that the people reacting to such inflammatory rhetoric secretly were doing it just out of reverse psychology for not liking them seems like another stretch. You may have noticed me slowly uptick my language from misinformation or incorrect or using terms like lying. Lying implies intent, and if this was not enough to verify that, then these interviews with Vance make the situation even more gross. On State of the Union, Vance stated on September 15th,
If I have to,
But it wasn't just a meme,
create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you
Yes.
created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it.
if I have to create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do. Dana Bash responded, "You just said that this is a story you created?" Further on in the interview, Vance says, "Dana, Would you like to ask me questions and have me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I'm happy to be here and talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me, then why am I even doing this? On NBC's Meet the Press, afterward, Vance addressed this as the notable comments came into question again. Kristen, Vance said, I hear you saying that they're baseless, but I'm not repeating them because I invented them out of thin air. I'm repeating them because my constituents are saying these things are happening. Chief of Police in Springfield also made a statement, we stand with our migrant community, and there is no evidence to even remotely suggest that any group, including our migrant community, is engaged in eating pets. Seeing politicians or other individuals use such outlandish information to appeal to their constituents is disheartening. So all this comes back to Vance saying, trust me, bro. The people in charge of Springfield, Ohio have no valid reports, and Vance is apparently unwilling to divulge any of the details either publicly or privately to the police to investigate all of this and find out if it's just hearsay or if there's some merit. If Vance cared at all about this actually happening, it begs one to wonder why he wouldn't be pushing this along to the police. Generally, the order of operation with these things go, hear a claim, investigate, verify its truthfulness, and then tell the people what you found. With Vance, it seemed to be none of these things. Bomb threats and vile racist language, most of which I haven't shown here because it's on YouTube, spreading like wildfire on Twitter, pushed by actual white supremacists and neo-Nazis, about a group of legal migrants. But we're not done. Vance at a rally finally acknowledged that the migrants of Springfield were there legally, but stated that he would keep calling them an illegal alien regardless, saying, well, if Kamala Harris waves the wand illegally and says these people are now here legally, I'm still going to call them an illegal alien. So there's a clear and flagrant disregard for the truth here, prioritizing one's feelings on a situation before the objective, verifiable facts that you could then divulge into. Normally, when someone is accused of a lie in politics, it's because they got a date wrong, or they left out a number or a statistic, or misspoke one time, or were a little bit loose with their language and it didn't exactly mean that, but like colloquially you kind of get what they were saying, or they remembered the wrong statistics in general. This has been a clear and continuous effort to spread unsubstantiated claims that threaten people's lives, all to push a narrative where not even a single aspect of the original claim is true and nothing about it is verifiable. It's a true ship of Theseus, but for one conspiracy after another, duct taping all of the individual lines and pieces of the story into an unrecognizable, incoherent mess which doesn't even begin to reflect reality. Bought-out shills at Newsmax and One American Network and Fox News refuse to pull the brakes or reel it in, but instead stoke the flames. It's bound to whip up people who don't know any better into a frenzy. It's extremely manipulative. These people are being used. This is beyond reckless. This is behavior of negligence that you would punish in a middle schooler. But it's being fronted by people trying to have the most powerful position in the world. Not that this should be considered, but it's another thing to be said that despite many accounts pushing old racist ideas of evil voodoo magic, an over 90% Christian country, most of these people are either Catholic or Protestant, and even higher amount of Christians by percentage than the United States. So for all the talk about illegal immigration and migrants and different cultures and Christian nationalism, why does it feel like the only real consistent thing in this treatment is skin color? Thanks for watching this depressing video. The people who need to know most probably won't be recommended it, but I at least hope that if there's some people out there who are genuinely misled and not just massive racists, that they will be able to see this video and see, oh, wow, all of this stuff was debunked? What the heck? So instead, I ask the people who were recommended this to pass it along to any family members who aren't too far gone that you genuinely love and care for and just feel like have maybe misunderstood this, no fault of their own, or haven't closed themselves off to hearing facts that counter their worldview, people who are open-minded to understanding their reality. There was a lot more information I could have included, but I kept finding myself down different rabbit holes, so I tried to streamline it. I tried to be fair and balanced, TM, in this video. But this is such an insane, over-the-top, racist lie that it kind of depresses my faith in the American people. It's so disheartening that in the modern day there can be such prominence of these worldviews, something that would have been seen as an obvious racist lie in the 1920s, let alone in the 2020s. Well, please support me how you can. This is my income. I gained a lot of subscribers from the last video that I made on politics, and I'll be honest, after the initial anxiety of putting it forward passed, I did have a lot of fun making it. So, thank you. Thank you all the new people who've come by. Also, check out my other videos, such as my Jack Stauber video. They may not seem like they're about politics, but I do talk about a lot of social, political, and historical issues, or even philosophy and psychology in a lot of my content. Take care of yourself as always. The Season 4 Steven Universe video is still in the works, and I hope to have it done soon. But I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching.